Hi everyone, Dan here. I want to talk to you today a little bit about some of the workflow or the structural changes in Photo RAW 2019. This is really important if you're upgrading from an earlier version. In the past over here in the module selector, you would see different modules for develop and for effects and layers, and we really treated those each as individual modules, and you'd go from one to the other in a very stepwise fashion. Now we've really combined everything together into a single place for all of that editing. You notice there's now an edit module. When I click on the edit module, you'll see tabs now for what used to be individual modules. They're all now one place. You can work on them all seamlessly together at the same time. There's develop, effects, portrait, and your local adjustments. Let me talk you through each quickly. First off, in develop, this is where you do your basic raw processing. That's where the tone and color pane lives. Arguably the most important pane in Photo RAW. That's where you'll adjust your tone and color of the raw data. I'm just going to make a couple quick adjustments to this photo to tune it to my taste. I'm going to deepen up the blacks a little bit here and maybe bring my shadows up just a little bit. I also like it a little bit warmer, so I'm just going to increase the temperature. Then below tone and color, you'll see the detail pane. This is where you're going to do your sharpening and your noise reduction. And below that, you'll see lens correction. You can see it's automatically found the lens in this case and is correcting for that distortion for me. And then the transform pane is new. This is where you would go in and adjust your keystoning, distortion, and rotation. On this photo, I don't really need to do any of that work, so we're going to leave it off. The next tab is effects. Anything that is beyond the normal raw adjustments are going to live inside of effects. Things like vignette, black and white, glows, vintage looks, all of that will live here. To add those, click on the Add Filter button, and I get a list of all the different filters that I can add. I'm going to do a simple vignette, so I just select the vignette option. There we go. I'll use our trusty Big Softy preset for that and adjust its strength. Now, if I was working on a portrait, I could go to the Portrait tab. That's where I would do skin retouching and eye and mouth enhancements automatically. And the Local Adjustment tab. This is where I can apply any of those settings in a local fashion. Now, keep in mind you can do a lot of that in Effects as well, but if you're used to using Lightroom, the Local Adjustments tab works just like the local adjustment tools do inside of Lightroom. I'm just going to use the Detail preset. That's going to load my brush up so that wherever I paint, it's going to enhance detail. So I'm just going to paint some additional detail on these kind of beautiful, warm, yummy areas of the rock here and here and here, maybe over here. There we go. I can turn that on and off, and I can create as many of those adjustment layers as I want to attack different areas of the image for burning and dodging or changing color, you name it. The power is unlimited with the local adjustments. Now, above those four tabs for the Edit module lives the Layers section. Layers, rather than being a dedicated module and working in kind of that old-fashioned hub and spoke model like Photoshop does, where you would take a layer and then go do work on it and come back, you actually have kind of it flipped on its head. Each layer now has its own settings right here, and you can view them all in real time and adjust them all in real time. You don't have to go to a plugin and come back. This is where I would combine multiple photos together, create copies of the same photo for adjusting different areas, you name it. In this case, I'm just going to click the copy button. That'll create a copy of the raw photo. It starts off with all the same settings, but I can use completely different adjustments on another copy of the photo. It's crazy powerful, and of course this is all with the raw data and all 100% non-destructive. Let's just say I want to blur the clouds on this one. I'll take that upper one here. Let's go over to Effects, and I'm going to remove the vignette. I don't need that. And we'll add a blur. I'm going to change it to a motion blur so it kind of looks like my clouds are moving a little bit here. There we go. Let's do something extreme like that. And now on that layer, I can simply paint that look in just where I want now. When I create a layered photo, it's going to save it in the new ON1 Photo format. Think of it like a RAW format that's designed for Photo RAW. It allows us to encapsulate multiple photos together with their full raw data and all of their instructions in a reproducible, shareable, transportable way. When you're ready to share your photo with someone else, you'll go down and select either the resize option for cropping and resizing to a larger size. Resize is still there, works just like it has but in the past. And there's also the share on the Mac and the export option on both platforms, where you can process out copies of your photos into common formats like TIFF or JPEG or PSD. We're really excited about this reorganization. We think it's going to make it a lot easier to learn and a lot easier to use Photo RAW. By tearing down the walls between the modules, it makes it a much more cohesive experience. Plus, you have layers everywhere, so whenever you need a layer for your creative desires, you've got them. We're really excited to see what you can do with this workflow in Photo RAW 2019. Thanks for watching.